see part of my head. What can you see?
Go live in 3
Your
seconds.
whole head.
You can see the whole thing.
Yep.
Well, good evening, members of council, management. Also, we have guests in our gallery. Welcome to the town of Stephenville's chamber. It is January the 11th, 2024. We just had a little technical issue zooming in Councilor Laura Elward. So we're a couple of minutes late. It is 7:13 p.m. And I would ask a member of council to move that we call this meeting to order.
I so moved.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second by
Second.
Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. All in favor?
Aye. Lots of attendees tonight.
Aye from Councilor Aylward.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
an aye.
said-
We call the meeting
yeah.
to order.
I said aye.
Okay.
Item number 2 is our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. We have the agenda that has been circulated by the town clerk, Jennifer Brake. Item number 3 is the approval of the agenda. Any new business or unfinished business will be required to be tabled towards the end of the agenda under items number 10 and number 9. Item number 4 are the approval of previous minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public meeting of council, December 14, 2023, be adopted as presented and circulated by the town clerk. I would ask a member of council to move that adoption.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Item 2 on the approval of minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes of the privileged meetings of council P23-02, P23-03, P23-04, dated September 27, 2023, be adopted as presented. I so moved. Seconder.
Second?
Second by Councilor Laura Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3. Be it resolved that the minutes of privileged meeting of council P23-05, P23-06, P23-07, P23-08, P23-09, dated October the 10th, 2023, be adopted as presented. I so move.
I so.
Second by Councilor White.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 4, be it resolved that the minutes of the privileged meeting of council P23-01 dated January the 4th, 2024 be adopted as presented. I so move.
P2401, you said 23.
Oh, did I? Okay,
Yeah.
correction, P24-01 dated January 4th, 2024 be adopted as presented. I so move. Second.
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, just for clarity, these would have been dealing with code of conduct complaints that was carried over into actually up towards January the 4th, and they were resolved. Okay, any matters arising from the minutes? No matters arising?
Rich.
We also want to raise item number 5. There was a correction to minutes of regular council meeting of November 23rd, 2023. It is resolved to amend the minutes to the regular council meeting on November 23rd, 2023, that were previously adopted as presented. I so move.
Second?
Second by Councilor Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item number 6, we have no proclamations and delegations tonight. We'll be getting into committee reports. I just want to say I want to welcome the 69 attendees That's the most we've ever had. So social media is working and our communications policy is working, having live stream meetings. It's a beautiful day here in Stephenville, Newfoundland for anybody that's attending from outside of the province or outside of the continent, or maybe is on vacation in Florida. We don't know. But it was a balmy day here. I think it got up to 8 degrees, I believe, today in Stephenville, Newfoundland. Spring is around the corner if you were walking the streets in Stephenville. So on that note, I want to welcome everybody that attending our meeting today. I'll turn the committee reports over to, starting with committee reports for finance, over to Deputy Mayor Susan Fowler. She's all yours.
Okay, thank you. The Finance Committee met on January 8th, 2024, and the following items were recommended for council approval. The first one is terminated tax agreement. As per motion number 23-93, the tax agreement between the town of Stephenville, Port Harmon Authority Limited, and 69385 Newfoundland Labrador Incorporated was terminated. The town received 4 payments of $20,000 as a grant in lieu of taxes. Be it resolved that the payments totaling $80,000 and interest adjustments of $11,724.40 for the total amount of $91,724.40 be applied to Port Harmon Authority Limited and 69385 Newfoundland Labrador Incorporated tax accounts. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fowler, seconder.
Second.
Second by Councilor Marwood. I'd just like to speak on that, just for clarity. So most municipalities within the province or within the country often engage into grants in lieu of taxes. And just for clarity, that means that they issue a grant and an agreed amount between council and the entity. And they actually get to be recognized as sustainable infrastructures or very significant economic drivers of a community. So for example, in Stephenville, we have ports and airports. They would be renowned as enduring sustainable pieces of infrastructure. It would be no different than when we had our main industry here with Abitibi-Price. Abitibi-Price was a major driver of economics, and instead of receiving full taxes, there was an agreement made by former councils that they would receive a grant in lieu of taxes. And that gets negotiated by the powers of council and the entities who requested. So this is an agreement we have with the former Port Authority, but since May 31st, the new owners who purchased the shares are now the new entities and owner of the Port of Stephenville, which would be World Energy. So just for clarification, this was a previous agreement. Because the shares changed in the company, the agreement had to be terminated. But this is something that happens in Stephenville, in Gander, in St. John's, in other places in the country, just for clarity.
Okay.
So I'll let you call for it.
Okay, so I'll call for the vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. The second is our expense check, December 2023. Be it resolved to approve expense checks in the amount of $315,810.22. I so move.
Second.
Second by Councilor L'Oreal.
Yep.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number 3, approval to travel to the FCM Annual Conference and Trade Show 2024. Be it resolved to approve council to travel to the annual FCM Conference and Trade Show on June 6th to the 9th, 2024 in Calgary, Alberta. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fowler, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number 4 is a request for sponsorship, the Rotary Music Festival 47th anniversary. Be it resolved to sponsor an advertisement in the amount of $150 for the 47th Annual Rotary Music Festival. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 5 is approval to tender a new 2024 4x4 pickup truck with cap. Be it resolved to issue a tender for a new 2024 pickup truck with cap as per Public Procurement Act. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor. I just want to say part of our capital requirements and budgetary line items, these expenditures are in our 2024 budget. With our fleet of equipment, we have equipment that expires after about 10 or 12 years to get a lot of utilization. And it was determined that this truck was required and it's within the budget and accounted for. So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next item is approval to tender a 2024 vacuum sweeper truck. Be it resolved to issue a tender for a new 2024 vacuum sweeper truck as per the Public Procurement Act. Woo. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 7 is an award of tender, fire department work truck. Be it resolved to award a tender for a new 2023 GMC Yukon XL to the lowest bidder, Dennis GM, Stephenville, in the amount of $87,377, excluding HST. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor. I'd just like to speak on that. This is a new addition to our fire department, and it came from a demand on an MOU and a financial arrangement we received with Amira. We now have the ability to respond to the substation in Bottom Brook in the event of confined space, emergency response. So this unit will actually enhance the town's emergency disaster response, whether it's airport, whether it's Bottom Brook, and it's a good addition to our fire department. And remember, at the end of the day, we have a professional team of firefighters, but unless you have the tools and the equipment to carry out the necessary work to save life, it's really tough to do so. I think this is a great investment for the town of Stephenville. On that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, and item number 8 is approval to tender equipment rental 2024. Be it resolved to issue a tender for a 2-year contract for equipment rentals. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number 9 is the Community Grant Program Fall 2023. Be it resolved to approve community grants to the listed groups totaling $59,026.37. And the groups are as follows: the Stephenville Cultural Destination Committee, grant of $5,050. Zion Pentecostal Church, grant of $4,338.95. Search and Rescue, grant of $21,587.33. Stephenville Taekwondo, a grant of $1,430.10. Bay St. George Disc Golf Association, a grant of $14,455. Whaleback Nordic Ski Club, a grant of $9,664.99. And Southwest Coast SPCA grant of $2,500 for a total of $59,026.37. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor. I'd just like to speak on that. We do have a line item for community development. And in the past, we didn't have a template, I guess, as such, when we communicated and did a process. It just tended to come to table, we debated it and so forth. But we've enhanced our due diligence on the project. So now actually staff gets to do work through the Recreation Department, Economic Department, Management Department to determine the intake. But what's great about this is we get to promote it to other user groups, because there are some user groups out there that don't know that they can apply to the town of Stephenville for a grant. And these tend to be specific projects. We often get sponsorships at a different level, and often we have investments that we make on an annual basis, whether it's the Stephenville Theater Festival, whether it's a Rotary Arts Festival. So this is really good. We have so many great community groups that do so much volunteering that you never be able to pay them for their labor.
No.
But it's volunteer work and you should never get paid for volunteer work. So this is a good initiative. And on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And,
We're just gonna wait one moment. The clerk just had to step out, so we'll just
okay,
spend for kind of a little break here for a moment.
okay,
Okay,
good.
yeah, we're good.
All right. The final item, item 10, is approval to travel the World Hydrogen 2024 Summit and Exhibition. Be it resolved to approve Mayor Rose to attend World Hydrogen 2024 Summit and Exhibition, May 13th to the 15th, 2024 in Rotterdam, Netherlands. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Pallo, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, that's it. Nothing late, Jennifer. I just want to say, as we go between our finance and our planning agenda, that Councilor Tristan Yulin was unable to make it tonight. He may at some point log in, but he is traveling to Labrador as part of his volunteer activities with our ground search and rescue on a training mission in Labrador. And I'm sure connectivity between here and the big land is not always that great, but we wish him the best on his training and get him home safely to his family. So on that note, I'm gonna turn it over to Councilor Myra White for planning and traffic. Normally, Councilor Laura Aylward does that, but she's at home. Recovered from a little tiny fall she had during the big rally we had here supporting World Energy and our hydrogen wind farm project. But I know you're doing really well, Laura, but it takes a little bit of time for a bit of bruising to heal. So we look forward to getting you back here live at the table.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm looking forward to it because I'm in my 31st year and I haven't missed very many council meetings.
No, you have.
In person, that is. So I'm
And,
really glad that we can do it on the computer. Technology allows that. Thank God.
And you're to be commended on your commitment to service to the community. 31 years serving our community as a member of council. It's a great landmark.
Thanks.
Or hallmark. That'd be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll turn it over to Councilor White.
Planning and Traffic Committee met on January the 8th, 2024, and the following items were recommended for council approval. Number 8, 37 to 39 West Street, Mark Lewis. Let it be resolved to approve a permit for the comprehensive development on the property located at 37-39 West Street to construct a fourplex subject to compliance with all town regulations and approval of service NL. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. I just want to say that I do believe that these were one of the projects that the provincial government supported in creating affordable housing across the province. It's great to see this happening. We need housing. We need good housing with low cost to the residents from an energy perspective. But it's also important, and we've got some good data from our planners that we need to infill. So when we have vacant land within the community where our water and sewer and infrastructure exists, it's great to infill rather than do an urban sprawl where you got to push out more water and sewer lines, because that is very, very expensive. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number B, approval to sign Wayland Crescent Extension subdivision. Let it be resolved to approve Wayland Crescent Extension subdivision agreement, phase 1 for 12 lots. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Okay, we'll get second on Councilor Loriot. Jennifer, on that one. I just want to say another, I guess another example of Stephenville's growing. We have a private contractor that has expanded his subdivision with new lots going in. There's going to be a heightened demand for single residential units, a heightened demand for apartment complexes, a heightened demand for affordable units, tiny homes, executive level flats, and estate lots. And I think it's critical when you look at your complement of residents and the demand that you have mixed development that's happening. So here we got 2 permits. One is for affordable housing and one is for single residential. So on that note, congratulations to the company on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item C, Town of Stephenville Winter Carnival 2024. Let it be resolved that the Town of Stephenville Winter Carnival will take place from February the 26th to March the 3rd, 2024. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second Deputy Mayor Susan Bell. I'd just like to say that we are having an El Nino winter. Not a lot of snow on the ground, not a lot in the forecast. Let's hope during that timeline of February 26th, March 3rd, we get some snow and we actually get the committee to play a critical role in enjoying our winter season. We are Canadians, and dressing up and being warm is part of what being Canadian is all about. So we look forward to working with the committee on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Anything late, Jennifer? Nothing? Okay. We have no bylaws and regulations for tonight. Any unfinished business? The only thing I'd like to say on unfinished business is that it's our first meeting of the new year. And 2023 was quite a year for Stephenville. When you look back, I often look back at, we've had a lot of milestones, but I like to cite about 5 of them. One is May 31st, the Port of Stephenville sold to private capital with investments coming to build a hydrogen plant. That's a big news story for Stephenville. Number 2, August 25th, the Stephenville Airport sold to private capital. They have invested in addition to purchasing the airport by completing the LED lighting system, which is a $3 million project, where I believe about $2 million came from the feds, $1 million had to come from the Diamond Group to complete that. In October, I believe, or November, we received a decision of the provincial government to build a brand new collaborative care clinic on a significant site next to our hospital. The site plan is 9 acres. Major construction is undergoing. It is a $40 million contract. It is a commitment by the provincial government with health services on the new health accord to bring in new standards of healthcare in facilities with a wraparound service of all the different needs, from mental health to GPs to nurse practitioners to social workers and so forth. So that's a really big step. We actually are selling the land for market value. So that's a good price tag for the town of Stephenville as we complete those sales transactions that will come into our 2024 budget as extraordinary income. The other one is there's continued work going on with the Newfoundland Aboriginal Women's Network, as we're building a $4 million transition house. There will be several workers working into that brand new facility. What was great about that is True Halapu and the College of North Atlantic, they worked on creating aggressive techniques in the design build to minimize the energy footprint. So if you drive by that facility, you'll notice there's a full bank of solar panels. And there was a full training facility that took place with the college in Halapu in that discipline under contract training, which is a really big step. And the last one I got to say is we, at one of our previous meetings in December, we sold the paper shed. It's a paper shed that was built in the 70s. So we're talking original bones, and that is 50 years old. We sold it for market value, and it will accrue $10 million into the coffers of the town of Stephenville over the next 8 years. That'll help with infrastructure, recreation, and all the requirements that come on council for capital works and so forth. So it was a big year, and I have to say that as council, we strive to make decisions for the best interests of the town. A goal of any council is to walk in, and when you leave council after your 4-year mandate, that the town is a better place. I feel comfortable that we can say that even into our 3rd year, we are there. I also support anybody who wants to complain against council. They have the right, and they have the right to use the social media platforms, complain. It just gets challenging is when their communication comes out that it's not accurate. And that often happens. But, you know, that's the game of communications media and social media. So on that note, anything else under unfinished business? Okay.
No, I don't. I think I think what you said, Mr. Mayor, is right. We did have a good year, 2023. A lot of things happened, and especially the collaborative clinic, which, you know, that's going to be a beautiful building, and it's going to, hopefully it's going to be done, going to be finished this year, and it's going to house, you know, in a perfect collaborative clinic, like 7 doctors, X number of nurses, nurse practitioners, LPNs, dietary, a lot of all the services that's offered in Western Health. Instead of being scattered all over the place in different buildings that are not even suitable, they will all be in one building, and that's what I'm looking forward to see. It's very exciting, that part of it, and as well the other projects that are ongoing. So it's a good year.
And I have to say, I got to give a lot of credit to Councillor Laura Elward on this file, and the council as a whole. If you look back, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow and Councillor White, Councillor Elward, we have had many meetings with Premier Fury, with Minister Haggie, Minister Osborne, the Health Accord, Sister Elizabeth Davis, Dr. Palfrey, and we've lobbied about why this clinic was so important. And we were very accurate in our definition of why it was important and why we needed it, but we did get that. And when I say it's a $40 million contract to run that facility, build it for 20 years, it is a substantial contract. Very good. So under new business, I just want to say that we want to announce tonight, our chairs are a little thin out there, and the reason is we have 2 councillors that have resigned, different times this week, unrelated. We did receive the first resignation from Councillor Tracy Boland, citing that, you know, she has taken on a new business, but between business and family, it was becoming overwhelming. And but we want to thank her for her service. It was going into the 3rd year. It is not an easy job to be on council. You have to have thick skin because not everybody agrees with the decisions we make, and they tend to come at us. But that when you sign up for the job, you got to be able to handle it. But it's still very, very tough. So I want to wish her the very best. A few days later, Councillor Lenny Tiller decided to step down. He cited that from family reasons, taking care of his grandparents, that it was becoming overwhelming for him. And I got to say that for anybody who's in our gallery who's interested, we do have a by-election that will be coming up, Jennifer, within 3 months, I think, under the Municipalities Act. We'll have to determine through staff and management when that will happen. But I will say that a couple of things that are critical is, first of all, you must be a resident of Stephenville to run. You must have your taxes paid. But you have to be committed, and you have to be committed to time. There are not just public meetings, there are planning meetings, there are finance meetings, there are special meetings, there are privilege meetings, there are meetings with special guests that come in, businesses that want to speak to council. So it takes quite a bit of time. And if you're interested, for any attendees that are online, and even if you're not living in Canada, well, I think you have to be living in the community for 3 months. Is it, Jennifer, before you can run? So that's not going to work. But for anybody who's living in Stephenville, you have the right to step forward. It is a good time to be a councillor because we're a town that's growing. But I'm saying it's a good time, it's an exciting time, but it's a time when it's going to take a lot of work, more work than ever, because we anticipate more staffing, more permitting, more work, more meetings, and you got to be able to step up to the table and commit to the work that has to be done to make Stephenville a great town. So I want to wish Lenny, Councillor Tiller, who's no longer councillor now, I'll just call him Lenny Tiller and Tracy Boland. I want to wish them the very best. They get more time with family and friends, but we will continue, and this town will continue into a prosperous year for 2024 and beyond. Any comments?
I want to thank them for the service that they have been doing for the last 2 years. And I hope they enjoy, I'll call it a little bit of retirement along with that as well.
Yes, Myra, I certainly would like to thank them for their service and stepping up. And Tracy, of course, took on a lot of things when she became involved as a councillor two years ago, and did a lot of work for the community, and is still in doing that as well. And she will continue to guide the guardian angels for sure. And we want to thank her for that too. She did put in a lot of work and time when she was on council, and then when she took over the business that she took over at Ireland's, that became overly abundant, busy for her and family as well. So I certainly understand her reasoning, and I wish her all the best. And I've also talked to her and asked her to, anytime she needed a shoulder or anytime she needed any kind of advice on anything, to give me a call. And we'll certainly miss her and Lenny.
Okay, and the final thing I just want to say, because there's been a little bit of commentary on Facebook on our budget and our taxes. So basically, our mill rate of 7.2 on personal property did not change. Some people's assessments went up, and that would have changed their tax bill. That's outside of our responsibility. It's a provincial responsibility. We did move up our water and sewer rates. Those rates went up. We have an advanced artesian well system that's going to have to be expanded. It takes maintenance. We have one of the best Abydos wetland treatment facilities in Canada. We did some upgrades to that this year. Those infrastructure capital projects are hitting 20, 30 years old, so they require investment in capital and maintenance. But those water and sewer rates have not gone up in the town of Stephenville for 20 years. So this is the first time we moved them up. But like with a council, we have new collective agreements. We buy diesel and we pay for electricity and everything goes up. So we need to move up a little bit to stay, I guess, in a position that we can handle the expenses of the town. So everybody's household expenses have gone up a little bit. We're no different. You know, some of our expenses have gone up. But as we move into 2024, as we come into the year and sale of assets happen, 2025 is a new year. So we'll look at that. But in the meantime, I want to thank the staff, management, and council for coming down with a really good budget, my perspective. The only one we moved up also outside of water and sewer was the business tax. That went up 0.2 mils. So technically on a business that would be assessed at $300,000, that would have been a $60 increase. Not a big stretch for somebody in business. And I believe the businesses of Stephenville might have been struggling in the last 10 years, but with the growth of Stephenville coming, I think the demand for goods and services in the town of Stephenville into our small business will be very robust. So on that note, I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn this meeting of 2024.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Oro or seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.